warm welcome to you all to the one-on-one set. In the studio tonight, we have with us Jakub Samsa. He's a gymnastic coach and also the manager of Gymnac Mauritius, a school that teaches tumbling and parkour. And tonight, during this episode of One-on-One, Jacob is going to share with us his journey, his vision, and what it takes to master the art of motion. Jacob, welcome and thank you so much for joining us in the studio of the NBC tonight.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Jacob, so you are a gymnastic coach and also the founder for Gymnac Mauritius. Share with us, first of all, how did you develop this interest for this field?
So from my side, see, the gymnastics started as a young boy who was discovering different kind of sports, and then by any chance I got interested into the gymnastics by going to the local village hall where practically they delivered a basic classic of gymnastics into the level where I pushed my parents eventually to sign me for the gymnastic classics in the nearest city. And then practically from the first step into the gym, I have to say I fell in love with gymnastics, and this keeps me up to now in a passion to not only still a little bit do the sport, but mainly deliver the sport to the kids and to the interested individuals.
It's in Colombia, right? Your gym?
Yes, so we are now in Granby.
Yes. And what truly inspired you to open it in Mauritius?
So actually, see, I came to Mauritius, so I said 2018, invited by Madam Jana Vrubelskaya, who invited me here to develop the discipline of artistic gymnastics. But when I came, I saw that actually there were no facilities which could offer the professional way of teaching gymnastics, because artistic gymnastics needs a lot of setup, needs a permanent equipment. And the time when I was invited, we used to only come from small gymnasium to gymnasium, bring our equipment, deliver the class, pack up the equipment, and go to another place. So there was my need was to set up one location which would provide a permanent setup where just the kids can come and really do the gymnastics on the professional level how it should be.
Wonderful. And in fact, you've actually hosted competition recently in June, right? The national
Yes, so we
championship.
hosted with the cooperation of Mauritius Gymnastics Federation the national championship 2025, and I believe it was a big success. It was not this year only for artistic gymnastics, which we did also last year, but this year we also extended it for the discipline of tumbling and parkour.
We'll definitely talk more about the different competitions, but first of all, could you maybe explain to us what is exactly those different disciplines like tumbling, gymnastic, and parkour, and what makes each of them unique?
So I would say firstly it all starts with the gymnastics, in our case artistic gymnastics. And I believe for how the time went when when you're mastering and when the sport develops into such a big spectrum, that is the time to start specializing on the small things. Then they separated a small special discipline like a tumbling, which is practically the mastering of the floor exercise on the line of 25 meters and consecutive flips. So it's the mastering of the floor exercise. And then you've got a parkour,
Yeah.
which is giving the freedom and choice to the gymnast to decide actually which track he wants to take, which that basic gymnastics, the artistic gymnastic doesn't offer. That is quite strict on the movement and the criteria which the gymnast has to do.
And we know that these disciplines should be started early, at an early age. So, with what age group do you mostly work with, and how do you adapt your teaching style for younger students versus teens or adults?
So yeah, I agree that definitely for the competitive classes, the kids should start early. The
Yeah.
earlier the better. However, now it's a little bit questioning with the way the sport is developing, is actually to allow the kids to start even later and still pursue the competitive sport. But as a GMAC, we providing classes as from actually as from 1 year old, when the child start walking, we've got a classes which are called parents and tots. So you can actually come, the coach is actually the parent, which is guided by the professional in our facility, to give the kids an idea of some kind of future sport movement, to teach also the parents of the safe way how to spot the kids and how to discover the area and fall in love with the movement. Me personally, I'm also a little bit engaged with this group, but mainly it is a competitive group, which we selecting the kids after later in the age from around 4 to 5 years old, and then we increasing their hours when they are around 7 years old. Now at the moment we've got a group which is doing every day. And these are our elite athletes, and at the moment I was a part of their development, so this was my group.
We also know that to be able to master this art of motion, gymnastic, tumbling, and parkour, it requires a good level of training. You have to be flexible, but sometimes confidence, self-confidence, is also important, right? So, what are the key physical and mental qualities you believe that tumbling and parkour athletes should possess?
So definitely you're right that the confidence, but the confidence of course is built, so it is not necessary when the first timer come to the gym to be confident. We actually teach the confidence by teaching the step-by-step development, the kids becoming more confident. But I would say the main key thing is the stamina, is the endurance for the sport, not to give up, because I think it's not only in a sport, but like in everything in life, which actually we want to after present the sport into the future development of the children, is that persistent in the activity, whichever activity what they do, because there will be ups, there will be downs, there will be wins, there will be losses in the sport, but the most important, I think, is that persistent and to keep pushing and developing.
And recently, in June itself, your athletes participated in a competition, international one, right?
Yes, so it was actually for our club, for our development gymnast, our high performance gymnast. It was the first international competition where we took them to. We've been invited to the Singapore, to the Prime Invitational competition. We actually recently just come back for the competition. Been very very happy with our gymnasts. They, over their hard work and everything, they show a perfect performances. We took 9 individuals to that competition. We had four girls in in 3 different levels, in 3 different categories, and then we had 5 boys competing in one category as a one team, which they at the end managed to secure a third place as a team in a team competition, and we managed to secure with the achievement of one of the boy a gold medal on the wall, which was
Yeah.
one of the best boys.
So you feel that this competition were a good assessment, a good evaluation for the level of the athletes at GMAC?
It was great, yeah. So the one thing was that our gymnasts used to compete only on the national level, and you see sometimes if you don't participate between the other gymnasts, you get too confident. So it is necessary for this to realize that eventually here the gymnastics Mauritius and our athletes, still we are in a small drop of water in the ocean, and so it's very important to send them away to see the level of the other nations and other gymnasts.
Jacob, to achieve good results, to reach excellence, it requires hard work. So how do you actually prepare your students for different competition?
So it is a system. You see, it's a long-term planning. Of course, there are different things. We've got a short-term, long-term planning, but then it get more specific when we already know which exact competition we're preparing, and from the general preparation, which is almost like a stereotype routine, is always the conditioning, stretching, and then the work on the elements. Then closer to the individual competition, because there are also different competition programs, then we adding the specific choreographies for the girls and the routines for the boys.
And any memorable experiences from that competition in Singapore? And what are the main takeaways that you and your team took from that international exposure?
So definitely there are other gymnasts, there are better gymnasts, there are not better gymnasts, there's a lots of other gymnasts. They are you can see this competition was development competition. So from the starting level to the elites, one thing is to see that majority of the things is about showing up. So you can see that the development level start lots of gymnasts, in the elite is less, and this is the same in our club. So I think the most biggest experience is, even if they are not the best one in the categories of the development, they still have to keep going, showing up, and to make it to the actual elite categories and international levels.
So, do you feel that now tumbling, parkour, and gymnastic are evolving in Mauritius? What's your point of view?
Definitely. The one thing is within our club. So recently, see, we getting more equipment, we getting more finances adding into the sport, but unfortunately, it's mainly from our personal and private side. But the level is from I would say when we started GMAC the 5 years, massively shoot up, and it was mainly to giving the first information what the sport it is, attracting the people, which takes time, and I think we are on a good direction.
Yeah.
We still got a long way in front of us, but definitely the progress is seen there a lot.
Jacob, you actually teach gymnastic, right? So, what is the difference? Could you maybe explain the difference between artistic one and rhythmic one?
Yeah, so this is the subject of the lot of confusion, because we've got the artistic, which is done on the apparatus. Actually, for the men's artistic gymnastics, it is a 6 apparatus. It is a floor, pommel horse, rings, vault, P-bar, and high bar. And for the women's artistics, it is vault, P-bars, beam, and floor. So you see the two are similar. But for the rhythmic gymnastics, it is I'm not an expert, but I have to excuse myself if I say something not fully correct. But in comparison from the artistic gymnastics, the rhythmic gymnastics, they cannot do what we call flips and twist, etc. Is mainly done the groundwork, and it's with the equipment. So they're using clubs, they're using ball. There's a lots of flexibility involved. There's a lots of dance involved. So I would say, you see even the confusion with the names, that one is artistic, the one is rhythmic, while the rhythmic maybe might be more artistic. And one of the biggest differences is that the rhythmic gymnastics at the moment is only the Olympic sport for the women's, while the artistic gymnastics is offering for both genders at the moment. But I believe there might be any future changes we might not know.
What's the typical progression then for a student in gymnastic from beginner to advanced?
So it is a I would say, see, for everybody is going to be different. The one is the aim, what they actually would like to do, what in that case also the parents would like their kids to achieve. If they coming only to the gym as a strictly leisure part, they only want to have it as an accompanying activity to the other sport, to only introduce the movement to the kids to increase their confidence. Or if they're coming already that they would like to go for the competitive side of the sport. Of course, there is a big input from the coach, because we have to also select the children, especially fully for the competitive side. The selection process is usually done early in the stage of the gymnast, where we selecting based on the flexibility, on the spatial awareness, etc. But also the important part is the fear, that the kid is not fearless fully, is still cautious, but cannot be scared of the heights and etc. And then of course it is a I'll say the will of the parents. So if we select the child, first we have to consult with the parents. If we got the agreement from both sides, yes from the coach, yes from the parents, then we can move forward.
And like we know, it's a discipline that is also sports, but also requires a lot of creativity, gymnastics. So, how do you design routines that are both technically strong and performance ready?
So you see the decision comes a little bit later in the stage of the
Okay.
gymnast, because each federation in each country is setting up which is called a development program. Usually the development program is composed fully from the compulsory routine, which are guiding the gymnast in the knowledge like levels to the international categories. And there is the time of that deciding which routine, which elements, and this is after mainly considered from the strength and weaknesses of the gymnast. Gymnastics is beautiful on this, that you are not obliged to perform this and this element only unless if there is the compulsory program in the development levels, but in the Olympic gymnastics, then you choose based on your strength which elements, which will be your stronger apparatus,
Mhm.
etc.
Any upcoming competition this year or the next year for the
So
athletes?
this year we've got still our annual competition, which is called GMA Cup, which is on a national level. However, we're trying to build it into the international competition. Last year we had one international competitor, but we want to increase it with the standards of the international equipment for the next years to invite the international delegations, which we are slowly negotiating from the international competition where we're sending our kids. So to a small like a exchange.
Wonderful. So, Jacob, do you believe that gymnastics can serve as a foundation for the sports or artistic disciplines?
Definitely, I would say from my perspective, from my experience, it is a foundation for the many sports. It is a This is saying even from the experience when I used to do gymnastics, it was not in the gym. The gym is always full of people, and they are not only a gymnast. You can see always they are coming. In Czech Republic, it was a hockey players, football players, athletes, track and field, the pole vaulters. They're actually doing these discipline that they used to come to the gym and to do their selection for the track and field within the gymnast for the pole vaulting and etc. So it is definitely, you've got a broad spectrum of the kids, and for that basic coordination and basic movement, it is a great sport.
And if we talk about parkour, it is actually, associated with street culture, it's a freestyle activity. So do you feel that youngsters are more drawn to it now?
Might be. It is very popular sport. I'm very happy that the parkour is coming like this into the light. It is, I believe, even the thanks to the latest International Gymnastics Federation president who is persuading discipline. He loves this discipline. It is good for gymnastics, because gymnastics, as I was saying at the start, it's a bit strict. It's putting a gymnast a little bit in the columns. This element should be performed this way, etc. Pointed toes and straight knees, while the parkour is giving that freedom to the gymnast. So on one side, it is the development still comes from that thing. So you see the coaching still needs to have a technique. It has got the order in it. However, then it comes into the way where the gymnast or the parkour athlete is selecting their own way in there, because there are two disciplines. There's a speed run and the freestyle. In the speed run, yes, it is to get as fast as you can from one side, but in the freestyle, the parkour athlete is actually selecting their way, selecting the elements, and so this is a beautiful. This is not in gymnastics. Yeah.
We are actually drawing towards the end of this episode, but before that, Jacob, do you have plans to expand the GMAC or introduce a new workshop or programs?
So definitely, we always trying to move it forward. We trying to improve where we lacking. We trying to bring our gymnasts to the high level, which requires bigger space, new equipment, etc. In this case, yeah, the next location, we thinking about it. It's still not everything is not confirmed. But yes, we're looking for a competition hall which would be able to host those international events for our gymnasts and bring our level of the gymnastics into next level.
Wonderful. And any message to parents and youngsters watching us right now who maybe wish to try gymnastic one day and enroll to one of those classes?
Oh, definitely. So my message would be to the parent, just pop in, just try it. We are not forcing anybody. It is a beautiful sport. Your child might fall in love in it also the same way like I did. Even we've got activities even for the parents. You see, you don't have to actually start only as a child. We've got a gymnastics for the adults. So you see, even you, if you want to come, feel free. And the message for the athletes, as I said before, it's a lot about showing up on the training. It's not we cannot win the war, the competition in few trainings is the run for the long distance, and the person who will not give up eventually is going to win from my side. So this is the message.
Thank you, Jacob. It was a delight to have you on the set tonight and learn more about gymnastic, tumbling, and parkour.
Thank you for having me.
Dear viewers, we have now come to the end of this episode. Thank you for your time. We hope to catch you next week at the same time, same channel. Have a great evening.